Are you ready to break free from the doubts and limits holding you back? Welcome to Embrace Your Value, where therapy meets coaching to help you unlock your true worth and take control of your life.
Hi, I'm Kristen, a trauma therapist dedicated to helping you heal, break old patterns, and reclaim your power.
And I'm Jen, your support coach, here to show you how to set fierce boundaries, embrace self compassion, and step boldly into the life you deserve.
So, whether you're stuck in self doubt or feeling lost, know this: your value isn't up for negotiation. It's time to own it.
Every week, we tackle real issues that challenge, inspire, and empower you to live with purpose and confidence.
So, grab your favorite drink, take a deep breath, and let's get started.
Because you're not here to play small, it's time to embrace your value.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Embrace Your Value. We're so happy that you're here with us today. And we have a really interesting topic today, which is defining success on your own terms. I'm here with Jen, my co-host, and I just want to turn it over to Jen.
Absolutely. Hi, Kristen. It's nice to see you today. I love today's topic because it's something that so many of us wrestle with. Success. What does it really mean? And more importantly, how do we define it for ourselves instead of chasing someone else's version? I feel like for so long, we've been taught that success means a certain job, a certain income, a certain lifestyle. But what if that's not actually what makes us happy? So, Kristen, how do you see success show up in your clients' lives?
And I think the question is like, what is success really? And that's everybody's definition might be different. And this is definitely something that I talk to people about a lot because we live in a society of more, right? I want more. And so when we constantly live in that, how do we know when we've achieved anything? And if we don't have a measure of achievement, then how can we know our value and our worth? It's fascinating, really, because so many people think that success equals external achievements. But when we dig deeper, then they realize they're unfulfilled because they're never stopped to ask themselves, what does success feel like to me? So, why do we struggle to define success for ourselves? A lot of our struggle with defining success comes from external expectations. What our parents wanted, what society tells us, what we see on social media, like trying to be this perfect version that somebody took 100 snapshots to get that one single photo. And we end up chasing a version of success that was never ours to begin with because it was something that we saw on the outside when what we really need to do is see it from the inside.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. And I also think, especially for women, but I know some guys deal with this too, is that we play the comparison game, especially with social media. And then we never think that we never see the success that we might truly have in front of us because we're always watching what somebody else on social media is doing or what the neighbors are doing and have. And we never really notice it for ourselves. And then on top of that, we have all this pressure. Especially women, we're expected to juggle everything. We're expected to juggle the career, a family, relationships, and we feel like we're failing if we don't check off every box, or if our house isn't spotless, or if we haven't cooked the perfect meal for our family, or if our kids don't get to participate in something that they wanted to, but it's just not there for them to do it. we just feel we take on everyone else's guilt, and then we never see where our success is. And so, what if success isn't about doing more, but it's about doing what's right for us as a person? Not everyone else, not taking on everyone else's ideas and thoughts and challenges, but really doing what's right for us. Kristen, I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do we shift our mindset? And how do we actually redefine success in a way that aligns with our values and not just what we think we should want?
Yeah, I think there's some good steps for this. And the first step, I think, would be something that you've talked about, which is reflect on what truly brings you fulfillment. So that means getting clear on your values, something that we've talked about many times. And if for any reason you don't know what your values are, please reach out to Jen or myself. Knowing what your values are really helps with a lot of the things that we've talked about on the podcast. So, what brings us fulfillment? It's what makes you feel alive, not just happy, right? Because stuff can make us happy for a time, right? But what makes you feel alive? And that is in your mind, but also in your body. What makes you feel free? What makes you feel joy? Not just happy, but joy, like real joy. And not worry about what looks good on paper, but worry about how things make you feel inside.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% love that. And I think going right along with that is losing the external expectations. Learning how to stop seeking validation from others. We've talked about this too. How to stop seeking external validation and start seeking internal validation. How to find it from in here and how to start making your choices from a place of self trust. And why does that matter? That matters because if you're always chasing somebody else's validation, you never know what you're feeling is right. You never know how you really feel about something. So if you always let everybody else make choices and you just go along, it's time for you to stop that and start deciding what lights you up in here and what you want out of life. Because I think that's a really important small step you can make there. And we've talked about this in other episodes, but you always start really small. So it could be the decision on just what you want to eat at that moment versus letting everybody else make that decision. So that's where that one's going.
Yeah, and I think that this goes along with the fulfillment step that I talked about at the beginning is redefining success based on how you want to feel, not what you have or what you do, but how you feel. So you have to shift from doing to being, right? And to be, we have to pay attention to what's happening to us physically and emotionally. And that changes everything, right? When we stop worrying about external validations and we do more what feels good to me. How am I being right now? I got a new car like a couple years ago. It's like I bought myself a nice car first, being successful and all of that. But I did it because it would make me feel good about me, not because I thought that other people would think I was successful because I drove this car. So every time I get in my car, I'm like, I love this car. It makes me so happy. It has all the things that I want. And it reminds me of why I bought it. It reminds me that I achieved a level that I wanted for myself and this is what I gave myself, not because it was expensive or anything like that. It was because it was what I wanted. And so what I did was I was experiencing, I was being the experience. when I bought that car and I relive it every time I get in it and drive it. It makes me so happy.
Absolutely. And the last tip I have around this is just give yourself permission to change your definition of success over time. Success evolves with your seasons of life. It just grows with you. So you may feel like you're chasing something or working towards something. It's success and goals. Like it's the same principle for both. You can be working towards a goal and get 10 steps into the path and go, oh, it's going to change. This is no longer exactly the goal I want. It may grow, it may get smaller. You may be like, yeah, that's not so much what I want. And so you're allowed to let it change. It's okay. Change is a part of life, and it's just part of the process. So be good with letting it evolve and grow with you, because that's definitely something that can happen. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have a great story if I could share it, Jen. This is a time when I realized I was chasing someone else's version of success, and that was my dad. He had these expectations for me to go into business and marketing and do all these things. And I took that path for 3 years. And I realized that was not the path for me. I was paying more attention to what he wanted for me than what I wanted for me and what I thought was going to make me truly happy. But I did go back to school later on in life and found that being a therapist is one of my greatest joys. Changing even what I thought my version of success was allowed me to then make the decision to completely change careers and go a different route so that I could be present and help people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that because that's such a good way to wrap all this up and wrap it together in a neat little bow. It just shows every little aspect that we're talking about. Success is not a one size fits all. It's deeply personal. And again, it's allowed to evolve. So the challenge for you today is to take 5 minutes and just write down your definition of success. Not what the world says, but what you say success means to you. What does success look like for you? And this doesn't have to be in true definition, school definition form. This could be success looks like this. This is how I do success. Make it yours, again, because it's deeply personal and everybody's is different. So, what does your definition of success look like?
And remember, when you're doing this exercise, think about what your values are, right? And think about the things that make you truly happy and how you feel in your life, in your body, and how you feel about yourself as a human, and use all of those facets to work into your definition of success. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. It's about what's right for you. So I would love it if anybody would share their definition of success with us. You can send us an email or you can shoot us a message and we'll get back to you. So we really appreciate everybody joining us today. We would love to hear from you about this, and we will just see you next time.
All right, have a great day.
Thank you for being here with us today.
If today's episode hit home, don't just keep it to yourself. Subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Because everyone deserves to know their worth.
Next week, we're diving even deeper with more insights and tools to help you break free from limitations and live authentically.
Until then, keep raising your standards, owning your worth, and embracing your value.